Anyway, hello everyone, welcome to this stream. We are going to be playing some more Europa Universalis 4, where we are playing Scotland. We have taken over most of the, well, we've taken over the UK. By this stage, it is now 1736, so we're approaching the end game, the late game. We have a lot of very large colonies. Castilian Canada is currently under siege by the United States of Nova Scotia, which is our colony. We also have Nova Scotia up here in Canada. We've got central Nova Scotia. We have Nova Scotia Isles. We're starting to work on Brazil. That hasn't actually been named yet. Don't we have another one? United States of Nova Scotia. Nova Scotia Lakes, of course. So that's the Nova Scotia Lakes. Nova Scotia itself and then central Nova Scotia. Yeah, okay, cool. So we are in the process of taking over Florida and taking over Castilian Canada. Basically, the objective at this stage is to... Huzzah! Hello, Larsman. Thank you very much for this sub. 3 months now. Nice one. Oh, look, a button I can press. That's a good button. I like that button. That is a nice button. So yeah, we are currently trying to turn the world yellow. Or rather, become the only yellow in the world. So we're taking out the Castellans. We'll probably go after Castile at some point. I do want to have a war against France, just to kind of show that I can do it. But that is a conflict that I'm going to need to wait a while to think about. Gaming Nights. How's your day going, Mordred? Day's going well so far. Spent the morning asleep, obviously. Then watched about an hour of a Let's Play of Kingdom Death Monsters, which is a board game, which is like a survival board game. Looks kind of interesting, which I'll be playing tomorrow with some friends. And then preparing for this. And I had hot cross buns, which are always good. Bohemia looks scary. Yeah, Bohemia has kind of grown. They've absorbed Austria. Prussia was at one point huge, and Bohemia took Prussia out. I think, am I allied with Bohemia? I was certainly trying to be. Yes, I am indeed allied with Bohemia. Who are my allies? I think it's Russia as well. Like, we've just had a really good game of it, to be quite honest. So my allies right now are Bohemia, Russia, and Morocco. Morocco was mostly because I wanted a counter to Castellan power, and also Morocco at one point owned the whole of Portugal and southern Castile. Unfortunately, they lost a war. We abandoned our alliance with Denmark for obvious reasons. They died. So we are allied with the Russian behemoth. We're allied with Bohemia. And we are rivals currently with France, with Vijayanagara, and with the Mamelukes. So we are trying to find a way of spreading into kind of this area here, so that we can get some more control over the Gulf of Aden. I also desperately want to expand into India. So we want to take out Vijayanagara because they're also yellow. And basically just control more of the Indian trade route. We do have a fantastic amount of money. Like, we are earning so much money, it's kind of ridiculous. The English Channel is worth 243, of which I'm absorbing 80%. We're getting a silly amount of money. I think we should have all level 3 advisors by this point. We do indeed. So yeah, we're earning 246 with a full complement of advisors, with a bunch of forts, which you really don't need to do as Scotland. But I've built loads and loads of forts because I'm trying to get my land tradition up. The more forts you have, the more bonus you have. So currently we're getting 0.59 towards fully maintained forts a year. That can max out at 1, so we're still under like the number of forts required for the size of our nation at the moment. So I might well end up building even more. Like, we certainly have the money for it. It's taking the build slots that's kind of the problem. I could probably do with being a little bit more proactive here in Indonesia, though. So we've just taken out Brunei, took a bunch of lands from them, and we've been fighting against Malacca as well. That's how we got most of Java. Nova Lothian. That's the other one that we have. Yeah, so we've got Nova Lothian, which is Australia and New Zealand. This has actually been a really good colony. So we established the whole of New Zealand ourselves. We've got one province over here in Australia, and then the rest of this has all been done by Nova Lothian themselves. Like, they've colonized all of that themselves. In fact, my colonial powers have been really quite good. Central Nova Scotia has been spreading slowly up the left side up there. Nova Scotia Lakes, I think I did most of. Nova Scotia itself I've done most of. And I think Much of United States of Nova Scotia they did, and they took from Castile. Like, I'll bet that quite a lot of the culture here is going to be Castellan. Let me see cultures. Culture, there it is. Oh no, there is quite a lot of Scottish over here. Ah, yeah, we took out the natives. So that's all Iroquois. Then we've got Powhatan, Dakota, Shawnee. But those are all kind of absorbed by us. Wow. So despite the fact that we did take out all of the Central American native tribes, they have all become culturally Scottish now. Oh, that's interesting. So Central Nova Scotia has actually culture flipped the whole of their country. Well, they were probably having uprising problems because there were a lot of natives down there at one point. But we still want to take out French Mexico. French Mexico has caused me some problems. And Nova Scottish Isles, that's been like a serious balance of power shift constantly with Portugal, but we have eventually beaten them. Unfortunately, Portugal is making a comeback. Portugal was down to just one province at one stage, and we were really gnawing away at their colonies. And France has finally entered the colonial game. Like, the colonial game has been super, super late. It's taken a long time to take off, which is why I think we've managed to see so much control. The colonies are making me a fair chunk of change at this point, though. Nova Scotia Isles, 12 ducats, and Central Nova Scotia, 12 ducats, and more importantly, the treasure fleets, which we're getting in, which is rather nice. You should probably be on siege duty. Okay. Just woke up to watch the stream. Oh, that's very good of you, Gaming at Nights. Thank you. So, yeah. Manpower has been my problem recently, so I think we are just going to continue speeding along, get that manpower up. Military coalition is breaking apart. That is good. I'd forgotten we had that. I think that's because I was going after the African nations down here, trying to expand Scottish South Africa. And also starting to worm my way up the side here. What are my colonists doing right now? We have a lot of colonists. So Brazil, Brazil, Michigan, Brazil, Brazil, Brazil. Alright, so we're really trying to get this Brazil thing going so that we can counter the Castellan Brazil, and probably more importantly, French La Plata and French Peru. We also have a looming disaster, that's a plutocratic coup, but I believe that will run out. So yeah, next year we lose 20% of the influence, so that's not a problem, that won't reach danger levels by that stage. Okay, so I think what I would like to do is get some more forts being built over in Indonesia so that we can have a couple more areas of control and also make sure that the level is fully upgraded. We could probably do with a couple more over here. Timbuktu, Zanzibar is already upgraded. I think like... Oh, we don't have the spaces down here, that's the problem. I don't know if forts in Allied countries count, like in the colonies. Plus, that would then mean the colony is paying for it, so I'd rather not do that. I think instead I'm going to put one on the Isle of Man. I'm going to put one in Gloucestershire. That'll do for the time being. How is our naval force limit? We are well over the force limit. I think we are still in the process of building more light ships because we were trying to expand our trade networks. Seems like to be going well for me. Yeah, this game has been really going well, actually. It was a little hairy at times in the beginning, fighting against England, but pretty much as soon as you've established the UK, then you can start to snowball. And the Industrial Revolution happened in our territory, so we've been getting all of the really, really nice Royal Britannia industrial abilities. Plus, considering we own the UK, we have like the highest concentration of coal, which is super important, because coal equals silly amounts of money. So for a very long time, tax was my biggest form of income. Then it was trade, but now production is pretty quickly catching up. So for a long time, production and trade were roughly equal. Production in the last 50 years has tripled, pretty much, because of coal production. So if we go to the trade goods, you can see that we have coal in quite a few provinces over here. And each of these provinces is not just a lot of money in that local province. I think like the value is 10. So yeah, each coal itself is worth 10. If you compare that to like cloth, which is usually a very high value one anyway, you get 4. So you can see already just how valuable coal is. But, and this is where it's ridiculous, as soon as you build a furnace, which is the manufactory for coal mines, that's a plus 5% production. No. Yeah, it's 5% goods produced for your entire nation. It's not just a local thing. It increases the amount of goods you're producing throughout your entire nation by 5%. So we've basically got a 25% boost to goods produced because of our 5 coal producers, which is redonkulous, frankly. Yes, that's what we need to do, is we need to go and deal with the rebels over here. We do have a set of transports in place, so we can just drop you on transport, send you over here. I think I was being a little bit careful because we just took this land and I didn't want rebels rising, but I don't think that's going to be a big problem, to be quite honest. More than one ad today. Huzzah! Hey, Ben. Excellent. Bribes growing more accepted. Really? I have no corruption, though. That's surprising. What is the difference between an honest man and a fool? The fool doesn't know when he's being swindled. So goes an increasingly common saying in Scotland, the spirit of which is proven through more sinister change in the social fabric. Bribes are beginning to be seen as a natural consequence of the market, where any action carries a price. Those who refuse to take bribes are viewed as precisely what the saying suggests. Fools. Worse than fools, since they are deliberately refusing money that could be theirs. The consequence of this cynicism is that any form of power truly corrupts, and no one who believes it is immune. Not even the Empress. Still just a saying. Well, I should be able to burn that off pretty quickly, because I have root out corruption just maxed out. And even with 56 in root out corruption, I'm still making 255. Like money at this stage. Ooh, rebels are fighting each other. I think I'm going to jump in on that madness. Yeah, it's all good. How are we doing for power? Do we have any admin ideas we're working on? No, we're currently doing military. We want to finish off offensive so that we can get that lovely discipline bonus. And maritime for the more ridiculous 50% additional force limit modifier. So that we can have even more boats. Because clearly that's what we need. I mean, 500 is not enough. We need another 50% on top of that. So we need 750 boats minimum. Alright, so we can get Diplo ideas. Are we behind the times in Diplotech? No, we are actually way ahead. That's good. So yeah, let's go ahead and get the plus 50% sailor modifier. Not that we need it. The next one's nice though, global repair speed and sailor maintenance. So how is my sailor manpower going currently? We're currently generating 528 and we're using 140. And that's with like 90% of my fleet doing trade protection. Alright, so we have 30,000 men here about to jump in on them. They shouldn't recover their morale because we just won that fight. Reform has been invoked. Call for Reichsreform. Verden. Right. They've done the first one. Really? That's it, HRE? Oh, and this is a Protestant HRE. So in the League War, which I totally forgot to join. I meant to, but I totally forgot. The Protestants won without any player intervention. I mean, there are a lot of Protestants. It's a strong Protestant league. But still, they won. It was fantastic. I was very happy with that. Producing stuff. That's the colonies growing. It is the Age of Revolutions, of which we have a lot. We could start our Golden Age. I think in like 1750 we'll start our Golden Age. Because we have a large capital. Discipline we're lacking. And then controlling institutions, which I'm pissed off about! I had a civil war pop up when the Enlightenment spawned. And I had an utterly ridiculous number of universities. Like if I go to the building thing, university, you can see how much of my country is universities right now. But half of that was rebel held because I was in the middle of a civil war. So I didn't get it. It popped in like Vijayanagar instead. Oh, I was so angry about that. Otherwise I would have had that one too. Right, did we win that fight? We did win that fight. Magnificent. So you guys... Whoops, that's not what I meant. Can jump on the boat, and then on the boat. We go over here. And we'll just start retaking these territories. Colony has become self-sustaining. Excellent. I would say that we should probably just continue going. Are you a settler? Are you a settler? Oh, we do have a colonist. I just didn't wait the one-day tick. So yes, we do wish to send one there. We're going to try and cut off La Plata, although it looks like they're trying to cut me off. Oh, no, you don't. 200 monies. Someone is trying to privateer me in English Channel. But I think I have my heavy fleet now protecting against that. Yeah, we're hunting pirates. So we're reducing the impact they're having. Also, we have our own free entrepreneur fleet working in Genoa right now. And it's having a little bit of an impact in that 49% of Genoa is currently being pirated by somebody or other. I'm not entirely sure who's responsible for that one. Actually, speaking of which, the reason I'm doing offensive and maritime is because there is a policy I am very much after. I really want the letters of marque, for which requires... Oh, it's exploration. Exploration and offensive, which will give me another 50% privateer efficiency. So we can make even more money out of Genoa. Because Genoa is already stealing most of the money from Seville. Thankfully, the Spanish are doing a terrible job protecting that. The only other area that I might want to steal money from... Actually, it might be Alexandria. Alexandria is going to be losing money as soon as I take over Aden. I mean, I'm already stealing most of the money from Aden. Where are they getting their cash from? Basra. And Aleppo. Aleppo is pushing a ton of money into Alexandria. Where are they getting that from? Yeah, it really is just Basra. And that's just being produced in Basra. Look, there's none being collected here. And they're not getting an awful lot from Hormuz. And that's the only other entrance. So I don't think there's going to be very much I can do about that. I can control more of Aden. And once I have land control over this, my mercantilism is so ridiculously high because we're Anglican that I can start shifting those ships over to India and start really raking in the cash. Look, Bengal is a 40. I'm not taking anything from Bengal yet. I will be. I definitely will be. So yeah, my mercantilism. So one of the abilities that Anglicanism has is grant monopoly. So every 100 church power you get, which is a very similar mechanism to the Protestantism, you can do one of these bonuses, or if you have 200 you can get the progress of the Supreme Governor, which is free stability. But this is basically unlimited mercantilism, which is ridiculous. Like, not even trade republics get that. Oh, can you imagine that? An Anglican merchant republic. I might need to try that one of these days. Ooh, that would be painful. But anyway, yes. And it's also free money, like dissolving the monasteries. I have dissolved the monasteries probably 100 times by now. And they do make you a rather sweet amount of money. This could do with some balancing. It is kind of OP compared to the other religions right now. Although I admit that dissolve the monasteries starts off relatively low. I think it's just because my provinces are so wealthy that it's worth so much now. But that +1 mercantilism, that should be like a +0.1, not +1. Like, having 50% mercantilism pisses the hell out of your colonies, so we've got a fair amount of high liberty desire, which I usually pay down with prestige, which hasn't been an issue. Oh, yeah, it's all good. Hey, Owen. Is that an independent Corsica? That is an independent Corsica, yeah. They have... No, they're a constitutional republic. Of course, Venice reappeared. So Austria did take out Venice at one point, but they're back again. Scotland's infinite monasteries, exactly. We keep on letting them build them, and then we just keep on stealing their stuff again. It's very kind of them, frankly. What are my diplomats doing right now? One is improving relations with the colonies, because I kind of need to do that. Oh, look at that! I have another free money injection. Speaking of the devil, stability is at +3 already. So yeah, we may as well just take the cash. Although I am trying to maintain a mercantilism of 50%. It's actually dropped down twice due to events. So we could do that, because honestly, I don't really need the money right now. Also, I should be drilling my armies. I just noticed that. My professionalism is still really low for a 1737 nation. Religion. I'm going to go with the mercantilism. And armies are not drilling. In fact, I have just a general lack of generals. You are drilling, but you're under strength. Conform to template. Standard. Alright, so you're getting some more troops in. That's good. Then these guys, once you finish taking that stuff, I'm going to have you drill. Our privateers gained 139 of the 285 monies to Genoa, which I think is the French Peruvians, probably. Gain 200 population. That's another colony done. That was not one of the colonists, though. That was just one of my randoms. And honestly, I think I'm just going to recall you. I'm going to recall you. Because you can recall the colonists. You don't need to have an active colonist to do the colony. You can actually just like balloon out and get even more and more stuff. And with the amount of money I'm currently making, there is no reason not to do that. Also, that's an inland centre of trade. I want that. So I might actually put one here just so we can take control of these adjacents. And then I might start colonising more of this, or maybe more of Indonesia. I really wish that trade companies worked like colonial nations, so I could just let them govern themselves. I really wish that was an option. Otherwise, sure, we'll just start colonising Palo. Sport urbanisation is gone, and with it, the estate problem is gone. Huzzah! So we're not going to have a plutocratic coup. We're getting more colonialism CBs, which I suspect... Oh wait, there was someone changing to coal. Where was that? Crap. Is it going to tell me here? Yes. Santa Catarina. Which I'm assuming is one of these. It is. And you are fully developed. Right, you are going to get a furnace. So I'm going to invest in some admin here. Something like that. Oh, I could have already done it. Build me a furnace so we can get that extra. Remember, goods produce modifier. That is national. That's not local. That's making the rest of my entire country that much richer. It's ridiculous. And there are a couple of other places that could have coal here in the United States of Nova Scotia. And I think we've already developed all of those. Bohemia's already got some as well. In fact, Bohemia's getting a lot of coal too. They're getting 3, they're getting 4 coal. And I've got 5, but they're close. I could do states. I could do some states down here, actually. What is my state limit? 39 and I have 17. Yeah, we should be doing this. So you should be a state. You should not. In fact, no, I shouldn't have done that because that's a trade area. Like the internal bit of Africa can be a state. This bit can. Because that cannot become a trade company. And that will mean that all of that area is worth more money. Build me a coal mine worthy of Mordor. Exactly. Do I have a general short? I have 2 general short. Neither of you are particularly good. You're also not very good. You're better. We'll fire you. We'll fire you. Okay, so give me 2 random armies. You, I want to have drilling. And you, I think. Also, you need to get up to your standard number of troops. Have a general. Cannot drill an army in a province I don't own. Alright, you're not going to be drilling. We'll have you drill instead. Good. Too few seats in Parliament. We need another seat in Parliament. Okay. So if we head over to Scotland, we can sort this by trade goods, because you want to have the seats of Parliament be the richest areas. And then sort by you. You already are, already are, already are, already are, already are. Lancashire already is, obviously. London cannot, because it's controlled by the Burghers, which is fine. What's worth the most after that? Iron is worth 4.5. Copper is 3.4. Worth 3, so iron. Argyle already is. East March is not. I'll make East March into one. And what is the debate in Parliament right now? We don't... Oh yes, we do. We have the +1 colonist and the +20 global settler increase, which is a really good one, so I'm pretty happy with that. Oh, the new update. So they've just been publishing some developer diaries about what they're working on at the moment, and the new update sounds amazing. They're basically adding customizable governments, which sounds really, really good, actually. I'm just going to try and find the dev diary so I can link it to you. But basically, it's a pick and mix. They've kind of made governments like idea groups, where you can pick and mix the different ideas you have to like make the custom feel of your nation. You can now do that with governments. Do I have a Twitter thing open? Because I think they were tweeting about it. I do. I want to find Paradox Dev Studio. Give me a second while I find it. Here it is. There's this one, where they go into a little more detail about it. This is not actually the original post. And then